Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. I am recording this as I play a game of Gambit. Don't know if it's the best idea to try and comment on Gambit while playing a game of Gambit live, because I am not a streamer and I'm terrible at multitasking, but we'll see how this goes. I have been playing Gambit lately to farm Dawning Presence mostly, but also at the same time kind of completing remaining challenges for the season, and also in order to do my transmog bounties. I have, let's see, this one where you have to get enemy kills as a team, which is taking forever, because only one out of every few teammates ever wants to invade. Sometimes it relies on you, but I'm not really a great invader, so we'll see how this goes. I am using my Titan build, where I throw a lot of Ashen Wake grenades. The new meta for Gambit is Gallarhorn, and then I have my Adrenaline Junkie, Shoyas, and Shotgun. We'll see how this goes. I think this is just fun to do this with like the grenades and sunspots and stuff. Gambit is in a weird place right now, obviously. Bungie has commented in the past that sometimes things just like sort of get left behind as you have to devote resources to other areas. They did not name Gambit directly, but I think Gambit is a pretty clear example of something like that happening. And I am not surprised to see it kind of fall by the wayside and not really be developed nearly as much as anything else has been. There are a few core problems with Gambit right now. First and foremost is the fact that Gambit has not gained maps, but Gambit has actually lost maps since sunsetting started, which is something kind of nobody wanted to see. The reason being appears to be because they weren't really, they were kind of going on the prime model of enemy spawns with like the big yellow bars and stuff like that, and that didn't fit with the Dreaming City and Tangled Shore maps that they were using. They never really just bothered to design it in a way that made it work, but I have max, I gotta get out of here. And they have not added any new ones as a result. Lots of enemies here. Let's clear that out. Wow, they have 43. Yeah, we're going to lose this. can already tell. Another issue with Gambit besides the maps is the fact that you can really tell kind of how things are going very quickly. We are still kind of in a place where it takes, like, oh, that was a terrible shot. One good invasion, essentially, in order to... this is too heavy. No. One good invasion in order to swing the whole tide of the game. The enemy team is not invading, but they are speed collecting moats. I don't know what our teammate, if they're actually doing anything over there. Invasions are kind of way too essential to swinging the entire course of a game right now. I think there is more to be done with that. There's still the thing that happens where if you are... like, if the enemy is summoned a primeval and you're, like, really far behind, they can still just send invaders over and over and over again over to you. There we go. Let's trench barrel this guy. And then just kind of make your bad situation way worse, because they will just send an endless parade of invaders over, even though they are, like, well ahead of you already. And it kind of snowballs to a way that is less than fun. I would invade if I had any Gallarhorn ammo, which I do not. Gallarhorn is like ridiculously good for this. Like, this is the first time I played Gambit since Gallarhorn existed, but like it is very obviously I'm gonna get roasted again, aren't I? It is very obviously the new meta, because it can mob clear, it can track enemies for invasion and counter invasion, and it can do obviously big boss damage. So it's another that's another thing with invasion, is like it's so reliant on power ammo. Like, people will not super when they invade. They simply just, all right, let's try and get one of these here. One rocket, perfect. They won't like use supers or anything. They will just pretty much save all their heavy, and then the really good invaders can just do it with a single snipe. We should be able to turn this in. Yeah, good. Okay. They already have a primeval. The primeval has so little health that if an enemy summons a primeval first, you are really almost guaranteed to lose unless they screw it up like totally, or unless it's the eyeball that has a... All right, I'm just gonna get this guy down. Unless they have an eyeball that has the immunity phases. Because any coordinated team can like really pile on the damage incredibly quickly. Okay, we had an invader, so that's why they weren't doing anything. So We summoned second, but we are actually very far ahead now because they took slightly too long. We'll see. It's close. Okay, and we squeaked it out. And, like, how fast was that game? That was, like, I'm curious to see the final time here, but that was essentially nothing. Wait, did I not get any end-of-match rewards for that? Okay, there they are. This is why I'm farming it. See, a gift in return. It's just, it goes so quickly now. I didn't even see what the final time was there, but it was very, very short. They don't show it on here, do they? Uh-oh. Evie's freaking out. Evie, chill. I think it's just a package delivery. But this is kind of the point where I am wondering if it is worth it to continue investing in Gambit, given like how kind of anemic the mode is right now. And like, when was the last time they really invested in Gambit? It was Season of the Drifter, and that was like everyone's least favorite season of all time. Evie, it's fine. Come here. Come here. That was everyone's least favorite season of all time, where basing an entire season around a certain mode of Gambit was like no one's idea of fun. Prime, had its fans to a certain extent and had some crazy people go for Reckoner and stuff. Prime had some good ideas, like maybe making Gambit one round, but obviously the mode has been stripped down to be, it's supposed to be like the third core playlist activity, and yet it has gotten, far less attention than anything else in the game, pretty much any major mode. And the amount of work it would take to kind of bring it up to par, they've talked like kind of in theory about maybe getting some new Gambit maps out after they get some Crucible maps out, because we have also been waiting over 2 years for Crucible maps. I know Bungie is like fully staffing up more for Destiny things, but again, if they start devoting more resources to one thing, I think it's going to be Crucible, and I think Gambit is still going to be kind of left behind, and we are going to be in this situation for the indefinite future. I think there are still some kind of tuning tweaks they could make to Gambit to make things better. People were pushing back against this, but I think the Primeval needs more health. Like, it is goofy that the Primeval can be burned in 20 seconds now. No immunity phases unless it's the eyeball. And then, like, I know the pushback is like, oh, we just want Gambit matches to be shorter to get them over with. But, like, it's not competitive. At that point, it's like, did you have an invader that killed any amount of people during any invasion? Then you will probably win. Like, that is kind of the end result of it, or if you accidentally got like PvE'd and lost a bunch of motes. Because whoever summons the Primeval first is almost guaranteed to win. We should have probably lost that game, but we had an invader that went in that kind of held them off from doing boss damage for long enough where we could start doing boss damage. So if that doesn't happen very often, it is almost always, if you summon a Primeval and the enemy is still on the mote phase, like, you will win, barring like you just being terrible and like spamming primary at it or something. Like, It is. There are just so many ways to burn the boss at this point, with all the kind of stacking damage things, that the Primeval never scaled to the point where it needed to. Invasions have been nerfed over time, but they still have their issues with power ammo, with invading when an enemy Primeval is up. So there's still a lot of work to be done in that area too. I do like actually kind of the mote collecting phase. I think the Gambit Prime yellow bars were a good addition. I like kind of the difficulty level of a lot of the higher damage enemies to kind of make you think about your tactics and how you approach it, and like what builds you should use for Gambit that kind of balance invasion, counter invasion, and also like kind of mob clearing. So I think that aspect of it is actually fine. The only thing that's suffering there is the fact that we just have 4 maps, and no mode can really survive or thrive with just 4 maps. I think at a bare minimum they need to bring back the 2 maps they deleted. But asking for more maps at this point, like, obviously it needs it, but I would be amazed if we ever kind of got there. And I just don't see a future in which Gambit is invested in any serious capacity, because when you think about how that might look, like, do you want another season devoted entirely to a Gambit revamp? Like, I feel like most people would say no, and I feel like Bungie would not really want to go down that road again, given how little everyone liked Season of the Drifter. So it's hard to see them kind of doing that again, personally. We'll see. I kind of enjoy going back to Gambit every so often. I'm enjoying this like little bit of mini Gambit grind, but I'm also not, I have no expectations of like this being like a truly competitive experience, because the whole thing just hinges on usually a single invasion, or if no one invades, then it's just kind of a boss burning race. So it's interesting, but I am not really expecting big things from Gambit in the future. And I don't know if it's worth kind of Bungie's time and investment to continue to pour resources into it when there's so much other stuff going on, and PvP in particular is like clearly next on the list for getting some love. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm glad I at least won my match, and I only got PvE'd, I don't know, twice, so could have gone worse. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.